Hi, I'm Katie Crane, the Pilates professional. Today I'm talking listening. It's one of the most valuable skills you can ever learn as a Pilates professional, which may seem counterintuitive because we spend so much time learning how to speak, how to teach, and how to explain things. But if we spend our entire time teaching, talking, and explaining, then we really never get to learn about the body in front of us. And the more we can learn about the person that we are working with, the more we can serve their needs. So active listening is a real skill, and I encourage you to practice it every time somebody comes to your class or every time you work with a client. Active listening is really about asking the questions that matter. It could be something as simple as asking the class, hey, how is everyone today? I can guarantee you, though, when you ask that specific question, everybody's going to do the obligatory good, and that's about it. So things that you could ask while you're teaching, maybe rather than say something like, when you do this exercise, I want you to feel this in your ABC. Maybe you want them to feel it in their glutes, in their abdominals, in their hamstrings. So rather than saying that to the person, you could ask the person, you set them up, you get them to start doing a few of those moves of whatever it is, the exercise that you want them to do, and you know where it is that you want them to feel it, but instead of telling them, you ask them, when you do that, where do you feel it? So they are letting you know rather than you tell them. Because I can guarantee you, if you just tell somebody where you want them to feel something, they will never tell you, or very rarely will they tell you if they're not feeling it. They'll often just nod their head and continue along in the session. So step number one, ask them where they're feeling it. And then either they're going to tell you, I'm feeling it here, maybe that is correct, perfect, wonderful, Yahoo. Maybe they're going to tell you that they're feeling it somewhere else. So if they're feeling it somewhere else, a couple of things could be happening. Either they're just not aware of where they're meant to be feeling it, so they've chosen where they are most feeling it. But sometimes if you just bring awareness, so say if you're doing a scooter on the reformer, and you know that you want your client to feel that exercise in their glutes, in their hamstrings, and potentially their core. When you ask them, where are you feeling it? And they tell you that they're feeling it in their quads, in the front of their leg, then you might just be able to reposition them, get a little bit more load through the heel of the foot, come into a little bit more of an anterior tilt, or make sure their back is nice and neutral. Then do they feel it in their glute? So first you could try and change their position so they're in a better position, but B, they may just be feeling it in their quad, because it's not that the quad isn't doing anything, they're just not aware that they're meant to be feeling it in the glute. So those two things I would try and rearrange, right? But always I ask the question first, where do you feel this? It gives them an opportunity to start to listen to their body, start to identify what muscles feel like, and it also puts the awareness back into them so that they're not just relying on you, because we never want to be responsible for our clients. We want to hand over that responsibility. It's a big difference of where Pilates fits in the whole scheme of self-care and healthcare, is that we empower our clients, our students, to take charge of their own health, of their own movement, of their own sensations, of their own body. Another way that we could encourage open listening is to just shut up. Just sit and listen. So often I go into a class and all I hear is the teacher telling that person, just stop and listen. Observe the body in front of you. So allow the person to get comfortable with the movement that you've given them before you give them too many cues. Don't worry too much about the breathing. Don't worry too much about anything else. Just get them moving first. Let the person feel it. Have a look at how they're moving and then start to change their alignment. In a group class, it can be a little bit different or a little bit harder to do that because you've got 10 people in front of you and you do want to give them as much information as possible. But one-on-one, I let the person start to move themselves first. And then if I need to rearrange them or change their alignment, then I do that. In a group class, say if they're doing scooter, I give them as little information as what I need to set them up. So they're standing next to the carriage on one leg, that leg is however I want it, whether it's bent or straight, their other foot is up against the shoulder rest, and they're pushing the carriage in and out with a flat back or a neutral spine, whether you want them standing upright or hinging forwards, you decide, but you give them that much information. Once they're moving the carriage in and out, then I give them more information depending on what I'm seeing within the class. So if one person is not pushing the carriage out enough, then I might say to the entire class, because everybody will benefit, I want you to push that leg all the way back whilst maintaining your neutral pelvic position. So the pelvis is not rotating, pelvis is still staying facing forwards, but just push the bed all the way back. You'll probably then see the entire class will improve on that leg press out. But definitely you want to be communicating to the whole class in a way that's appropriate. So I'm not just giving cues for the sake of cueing, I'm giving cues to the people that are in front of me. Everybody benefits from all those cues, absolutely. But, you know, for example, if everybody is already standing on the correct leg, don't tell them what leg to stand on, you know? So we're not trying to, you know, fix a bicycle puncture that doesn't need fixing. We're not trying to recreate the wheel. We're giving the information that needs to be given. That is partly active listening through observation. So really being aware of and keeping an eye on what your clients are doing, what the class is doing is super important, which is why it's very important that as an instructor, you are not participating in the class. You are teaching the class, because one of the best ways you teach is by seeing what everybody is doing, not by doing what everybody is doing. Now, I realize that that can take a while to get to the point where you can get all of your words out that you need to get out to explain what you need to explain. It's definitely easier to teach an exercise by doing the exercise. There's no doubt about it. That's what we do as students when we are learning the work. But once you're out there getting paid as a professional, and if you want to call yourself a Pilates professional, you are teaching the class, not doing the class. So that's why you need to practice using appropriate language, appropriate cues, and words that work for your clients. It's one of the reasons that I very rarely would say, you're going to feel this in your hamstrings or you're going to feel this in your quads. I would say to the class, you're going to feel this in the back of the leg or in the front of the leg. They don't need to know anatomy. They just need to know where they need to feel it. So be very careful with the language that you use, that you're speaking in language in terms that your class understands, not in the word salad or the jargon that you have learned. They're two different things. Active listening is very much about observing our clients do more than just the repertoire. So for example, when a client walks in the door, I observe how they are walking as they go into the class, how they're putting their bag down, how they are taking their shoes off, how they are when they get onto the machine initially. That is all active listening, because by observing their body move naturally without me teaching them, then that is really how their body is functioning. Because when a person comes into a class and we start teaching them, they're already trying to perform in the best way possible because they're being taught by you. So their normal posture is probably no longer in front of you. They've got their Pilates posture on because they're very aware that you're about to tell them to sit up tall. So you want to have a look at your clients as they walk in the door, as they go about their daily activities without you teaching them. And that's going to give you some amazing ideas and some amazing insight into how their body actually works and the types of exercises that are going to be really appropriate for them, for you to be able to improve their posture and improve their movement function. As usual, my rooster is in the background. He always comes into play whenever I do any video, and you've probably heard him in any video that I'm sitting here talking to you with, so that's okay. But that's about all from me for now. In regards to active listening, I would like you to practice it daily. Absolutely. Our clients deserve us to be listening to them. And if you have time outside of your class to listen to your clients' stories, you will learn so much more about their body than what you will ever learn watching them perform in your class. Take time to speak to your clients outside of class. Take time to get to know their story, their vulnerabilities, their fears, their dreams, their goals, their wishes, and you can serve your clients so much more. Thanks for joining me. I'm Katie Crane, the Pilates professional with 3 roosters. I'll be seeing you soon.